The publishing industry loves to just go off on banned books, banned books. They actually, if you go to Barnes and Noble, they have a full table that they put up front and center that says banned books that they are trying to, of course, push to you. Now, most of these are just classics like 1984 and things like that, that I don't know where they got the idea they're banned. I mean, maybe some school banned them, 40 years ago or something like that. They're clearly not now. And the other that they conflate with it are pornographic books like genderqueer that are not allowed into school libraries for children to look at because there's graphic depictions of, some gross stuff in it. And so it's not banned anywhere. In fact, all of these are regularly and readily available, and bookstores carry them all the time. But what gets banned and what gets blacklisted are people who have opinions contrary to the narrative. It gets crazy when you get into YA and fantasy book fiction. We've covered a couple weeks ago how one guy was turned down by a literary agent who said the book was great, that she would like it. And he got turned down because his culture was vaguely Hindu in the way that it looked in a fantasy world. It wasn't even an actual Hindu one. And he was a white person, and so therefore they didn't want to publish him. I remember a few years back there was a author named Kira Drake who had some native savage group that was actually going out and fighting in a jungle somewhere. They said it was too coded like Native Americans, even though it was, again, a fantasy world. And therefore, they all just slammed her and tried to destroy her. And then she never had a publishing contract ever again after that. Those are the real banned books out there. And this is what's happening now to Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling because she's going out there. This is not the first bookstore to do this, by the way. This is something I've seen multiple times now. But it is something we do need to call out because this is what the mainstream publishing industry is. This is what they're doing to fantasy, to YA, to try to corrupt children into, of course, their radical gender ideologies and to the strange leftist communist tactics that they're trying to do with the culture. They know that if they just flood children with their ideology, they can brainwash them, and they want to do that. New York Publishing is all about that, and that's why we fight here, and that's why we're the Real Fantasy News. So please hit the like and subscribe button. Join us here as we talk about all things in fantasy. Really appreciate you being here. I'm a fantasy author myself, and I'm really sick today. I'm sorry, guys. But this is my first Steaming Country. It's book one of a 6-book series. Lots of fun. If you like Harry Potter, if you like swashbuckling adventure, that's a lot of fun. I really think you'll enjoy this. It's something that's for all ages. It's excellent. I just got a great email from a reader who just got through book 2 and told me it was fantastic. So thank you for that if you're watching this program right now. This is something that we are fighting the mainstream culture with just to push good content out there. So check it out. It's in the description below. Thank you for making this a perennial #1 bestseller. We've sold over 30,000 copies, despite my being blacklisted from the industry just because of my commentary on this channel. They don't like it very much, obviously. But my books are undeniable, and it works out very well, and I appreciate you guys for reading. So grab this. It's ebook, print, and audio. It's got 3 different avenues which you could read it this weekend, and there's a 6-book series. Like I said, if you want to grab the whole thing, really builds up nicely. Thanks for being here, and thanks for supporting. All right. So, Booksmith, a San Francisco bookstore, announced it's boycotting J.K. Rowling due to her opposition of gender ideology. If you go over to Blue Sky, by the way, there's a lot of people ranting about J.K. Rowling right now. And they're very clearly in favor of them banning books like this. They can't say it. It's very interesting how these people act when they're professional writers. They're for it, and they love this kind of thing, but at the same time, they want to be very careful, not to advocate directly for book banning. So they're subtweet, quote tweet, very careful about the way they phrase things. It's entertaining, but this is exactly what's happening. She is getting harmed in her business now because of these radical ideologues out there. In a post to Instagram, the bookstore shared a photo of a children's section with a note that states, "Are you looking for Harry Potter?" In May 2025, author J.K. Rowling publicly committed to using her private wealth from the Harry Potter series to develop the J.K. Rowling Women's Fund, an organization dedicated to removing transgender rights in a workplace of public life and protected female spaces. With this announcement, we've decided to stop carrying her books. We don't know exactly what her new Women's Fund will entail, but we are not going to be a part of it. Oh, so stunning and brave. And as you can see, this is the left in a whole manner. Even though it's people might be looking for it and the customers probably want the book, we're not carrying it. We're not interested in doing commerce for our business, right? That's number one, where they're crazy. Number two, we're going to virtue signal and ramble in like this long paragraph about why this book's not on the shelf immediately, just because we have to just go about everything when somebody disagrees with us politically. And number 3, we're also completely uninformed. We don't know exactly what her new women's fund will entail, but we just know we're opposed to it. We don't know what it is, but we want to shut it down. That is the left in their protests in every single thing that they do. They're completely uninformed people, and it's because they refuse to read, and they refuse to read anything that, of course, goes against their little echo chamber worldview, right? Here it goes. As a group of queer book lovers, we've also had our adolescences shaped by wizards and elves. Oh gosh, that's a lot to unpack there. That's probably code for somebody molested them as children. Okay. Look at us. It's obvious. If you or someone you love wants to dive into the world of Harry Potter, we suggest doing so by buying used copies of these books. Now, it's really silly. J.K. Rowling is a multi-billionaire. The $2 she might make in royalties, or maybe $1 in royalty, maybe less per copy here, is not going to change anything whatsoever. It's pretty funny. She's got a TV contract going on with HBO right now. But yes, please clap, everybody. Please clap. These are absolutely silly. In a more recent post, they shared what it describes as a list of bookseller curated suggestions for books we genuinely love that might fit Harry Potter, brief for you and yours. So read these instead of Harry Potter's, guys, and that's kind of interesting. One individual responded saying, so you're going to curate your selections to only sell books by authors that you agree with politically. Good to know. I'll be shopping elsewhere. Booksmith responded, there are plenty of books we carry that we don't agree with. Oh, sure. But in this case, it's not about politics at all. Yeah, actually it is. When the author of a book states that the sales of these books will contribute to an anti-trans fund, the only way we can choose not to participate is not selling the books any longer. It's no different than we encourage you to buy your books in indies rather than purchase them on Amazon. It stands in direct opposition to everything we believe in and that we have tried to uphold for 50 years of selling books. If you want to read the Harry Potter books, we implore you to buy them used locally, where the money stays in the community you love. So this is absolutely evil, and it's absolutely crazy on every single level, and it is banning books. And it is just absolutely nuts when they get into this stuff. Now, I mentioned earlier, they're kind of going off on this a little bit on Blue Sky. Here's Gail Simone. She writes for Marvel Comics right now, Uncanny X-Men, very clearly referencing this right here. And because she obviously saw this news story coming out, everybody reads her fandom pulse in the entire comic book and fantasy industry. They all hate read it, and they pretend they don't. It's really funny. Hi, Gail. So I think a lot of JKR, that's J.K. Rowling, and Glinner, and that's another writer, British guy, I looked up to them so much. I was so thrilled when each of them started following me on Twitter. The fact that I couldn't smell the dark side in advance really bothers me. No one wakes up that shitty one day. Oh my gosh. So she's really, really mad because, again, J.K. Rowling just wants to say that a woman is a woman. And I guess, if that's a line too far. It's really funny because J.K. Rowling is, like one of those feminist types that like pushes for women's lit and things like that actually Gail Simone probably came up on the backs of and actually got herself famous around like the time that J.K. Rowling was so big. It like helped her and probably propelled Gail Simone. But it doesn't matter. If you disagree even on one issue to the left, you are dead to them. They hate you for it. And as you see this right here, this is where it gets so crazy. I once heard someone say predators don't just groom their victims, they also groom their friends to not notice their awfulness. Now remember, like these people treat J.K. Rowling like she committed a crime, like she's out there like literally like attacking transgender people in the streets or something like that. She's just saying, no, I don't want you in my woman's bathroom because you're a mentally ill person who might try to hurt me, and you're not a woman because you kind of have some parts that are a little different, or at least you did have them at some point. And it doesn't make any sense, and that makes a lot of sense. She's not harming anybody. She's not committing any crimes, but these people want this all to be thought crimes, right? This is what the commies are. It's the thought police, right? You must think in line with them 100%, even if it like objectively does not even match with reality. You better make it look like reality, or else they're going to call you predators and groomers and things like that. Quite the opposite. I mean, this is classic projection, because what is the transgender community doing? They're grooming people pretty badly, going, okay, you children, you're a tomboy girl. I think you're really a boy inside. Why don't you cut off your, it's like, it's not good, and it's very bad, and it harms a lot of children these days. And this is exactly why these discussions have to be had. And you have to not be afraid to be able to have these discussions, because the social pressure that people like Gail Simone put on it and these bookstores put on it, we have to push back and we have to call it out. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Guys, if you want to support some real banned books, yes, I'm blacklisted from the publishing industry, but you see, people buy my books anyway. It's great. I appreciate you for being here and making this a bestseller. Grab For Steam and Country and the entire series today. You're going to love it. Thanks for being here. We'll be back soon.